Welcome to Nature Cures with Stacia Alicia, where we explore inspiring stories of natural healing and transformation. I'm your host, Stacia Alicia, and I am so excited to have you here today. Today on Nature Cures with Stacia Alicia, we're joined by Natasha, a woman whose story of radical self healing is deeply empowering. At just 31, Natasha suffered a stroke and was facing a long list of chronic conditions. She could have accepted a life of prescriptions and pain, but instead she chose a path of radical responsibility and holistic healing. In this conversation, she shares the mindset, the natural tools, and the real life results of choosing nature as medicine. Let's dive in. Hi, Natasha.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. Let's start. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
My name is Natasha Soltis Knight. I am 48 years old and I come from the beautiful island of Bermuda. I currently reside in the UK for going on 10 years now. I was a dental nurse. I still work in a dental practice. I'm just a dental receptionist at the moment in the NHS.
What was your life like before your healing journey began?
I was obese. I had a stroke when I was 31 years old due to high blood pressure or uncontrolled high blood pressure. Um, I was pre-diabetic, arthritis. I was in bad shape.
You had a stroke at age 31. What
Yes.
do you believe led to that moment, and what were you going through, or what was going through your head?
What I was going through was the year before my stroke, my son had a grand mal seizure. We were constantly back and forth to Boston Children's Hospital with him. So my stress level was extremely high because we had 1 year of uncertainty of what was going on with him, or how is he going to survive going forward. So for that whole year, it was just chaos for me. And then the following year, of course, me still in mom mood, constantly taking care of my son, my daughter, I let my own health fail, and I end up having a stroke.
You mentioned the high blood pressure, but what were the other health challenges that you were dealing with at the time?
Fatty liver disease, like I said, pre-diabetic. Um, I was on up to 14 medications at one point for various ailments or diseases that I had, plus the side effects. And until I decided to completely make a change with my lifestyle, I was able to get off all medication at once.
I remember you also saying that including arthritis and kidney
Yes,
issues and excessive bleeding. I remember that.
yes.
How did these conditions affect your daily lifestyle? I want you to go deep and, so people can understand what it is like to live with these illnesses.
In a constant state of fear. I had extremely high anxiety. I was always thinking I was going to have another stroke. A few of the medications I was on gave me heart palpitations. So I was always thinking that, oh my God, am I having another stroke? Am I having another stroke? I was constantly in and out of my doctor's practice, in my the GP's practice, constantly in and out of the hospital because I'm convinced now I am having a heart attack or a stroke. So every day was just a constant cycle of living in fear if I'm gonna make it to tomorrow.
Wow. Was there a particular moment that you said something has to change and I have to do something about my health? I have to take control of my health.
Yes, during the pandemic, I was once again rushed to the hospital because I had an extreme anxiety attack. I got to the hospital once again convinced that I'm having a stroke, I'm dying, and whatever the case may be. And I was there alone because my husband couldn't come in with me. And they put me in the back of the room and they said, Natasha, you are having an extreme anxiety attack. You have to get a hold of yourself because you're doing a lot of damage to yourself. You need to make a change. And I sat there in that room in complete darkness and I cried my eyes out. And I said, Lord, I prayed. And I said, Lord, this is it. I can't come here anymore. I have to make a change. And I left that hospital and I just completely made a big change in my life and end up losing all the weight, end up coming off all medications, and my life's been wonderful since then.
When you stepped out of that hospital, what was
Mhm.
the first step you took when you decided to heal naturally?
And I was still waiting to be discharged from the hospital. And I was on my phone and I was looking at eating naturally because I always knew that the way that I was eating, which was a standard American diet, was just complete junk. And I knew that that was the reason why I was having all the problems that I was having. So I started researching in that hospital bed natural foods, how, not even a vegan diet. I looked at a keto diet first. And I came out of the hospital and I did keto for I think a couple of weeks, and the weight started coming off, but I got extreme brain fog, heart palpitations continued, my blood pressure rose even more, and I said no, this can't be it. So I reached out to a cousin of mine who had been to Dr. Sebi's compound in Honduras. And I said, cousin, I literally said to him, I'm dying. If I don't make a change, I will die. I need help. How can I go into this alkaline lifestyle? How can I change it? And he gave me all the information that I possibly needed. And he gave me the direction of the research that I needed for the conditions that I suffer from. I went food shopping that next morning and got everything I can possibly get that was alkaline that I could get my hands on. And I started my journey from there.
What were some of the hardest things to let go of?
I am a huge bread and pasta, well, a carbohydrate. I was addicted to carbs and cheese. I would have pasta or bread 7 days a week, twice a day, no problem. So then I decided that I was coming off of all white foods, white flour, white sugars, white pasta, all that stuff. It took a toll. Like I was really craving. I felt like a drug addict, like a fiend. I really needed it. But it wasn't until I found alkaline substitutes. Like I have kamut pasta. At one point, I was having spelt pasta. I do my own sourdough bread at times. I go ahead and make my bread. So I just made substitutes for what I was used to having or what I felt like I really, really needed. And I just made it completely healthy.
You said that your cousin gave you kind of like a blueprint of what to do. What
hmm
are or what were some of the herbs or the healing modalities that you did to
hmm
heal yourself?
The first thing I did was completely cut out everything processed in my life. That was meaning everything I put on in my mouth, everything I put on my skin. I completely came away from it. Anything that had a chemical in it, I didn't know what that chemical was. It was done. I started fasting. I started doing juice fasting in the beginning. I would juice for like 3 days and then 7 days and up to 40 days, 60 days, and eventually I end up doing 101 days of juice
Ooh.
fasting. Um, um, since then, I am an avid juice. I do cold press juice every single day, 7 days a week. I am plant-based, so I tend to just cook for myself. I don't tend to eat out as much because I don't know what to put in my food. I have control of what I eat. So because I'm preparing it myself. And the herbs that I took when I was doing my whole detox and stuff, um, I was anemic. I was extremely anemic due to heavy periods. So I took sarsaparilla, I took yellow dock, I took red raspberry leaf for my womb health. I took Jamaican dove blood. I took so many different herbs that were concentrated on the ailments that I was having. And then I end up having more. I stopped drinking just regular water. I started having more coconut water, and I just processed from there. I think every day I just did something different to improve my health, either fasting, juicing, or eating healthy.
You said that you went on 101 days of juicing. Tell us about that. How was that journey?
It was the most eye-opening thing I have ever done. I have lost about 130 pounds. That
Ooh.
wasn't as eye-opening as the juice fast. I wouldn't even say it was a juice fast. It was a juice detox or juice reset. I was on cloud nine for 101 days. I felt invincible. I had energy through the roof. I was still working out in the gym on the treadmills 3 times a week. I knew for a fact that I wanted to go ahead and change so many things within my body. I wanted to do a deep, deep fast, and I knew I've already done 60 days of juice fasting. I wanted to do more. I said, okay, well, I'll do 101 just to make sure. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Many people fear getting off medication. What gave you the confidence to basically transition to herbs and natural remedies?
I knew once I started doing more research into a healthier lifestyle that a lot of the medications that I was on, it was a herb that that medication came from. So I said, why am I taking this pill, this little white pill that's got about 1,000 chemicals in it, when I can just go straight to that herb? So I started finding out what herbs were, like I said, were beneficial for myself. And I started ordering in a lot of my herbs from Jamaica, from England, certain parts in Brixton. I have a gentleman in Brixton that has a herbal shop that I get a lot of my herbs from. And I noticed the difference within my body the moment I started introducing herbs into it. And it was 10 times different from when I was taking that prescription drug. So I just said, you know what? Everything that I'm taking those prescription drugs for, let me take the herbs for. And I completely got rid of all those prescription drugs and was just on herbs only until I was able to detox my body enough to a point that I just use herbs now for maintenance.
I love that. And what you said a while ago, you said two things. One, you said that you lost over 100 pounds, and you also said that you started seeing changes in your body. First of all, tell us what did you weigh initially, and then what you went down to, and then also what other changes did you see in your body, but your not only your body, but your mind and maybe your spirit as well.
My highest recorded weight was 260 pounds. And I had already started losing weight before I got on the scale and it said 260 pounds. My lowest weight when I had finished that 101 day juice set was 127 pounds. At the moment, I'm 150 pounds. I feel that I'm tall, I'm 5'10". So I feel that this is a very comfortable weight for my height. Um, the changes that I had seen, like I said before, I also I had fibroids. I used to have a very, very heavy menstrual period for like 10 days that sometimes I would bleed just constant. So of course with that, I became anemic. Um, the changes when I started juicing was phenomenal. I had gone from 10 days to 7 days to 5 days, which is almost like a normal period, to now I have just about 3 days of bleeding. I've expelled a fibroid when I was on my 101 day juice fast. This, fibroid just came out, it expelled on its own. And then I
Wow.
noticed, yeah. And
It
then I
just came
noticed
out.
it just literally came out. I think my body was so alkaline, it just said, you got to go. And it just came out.
Wow, wow. So you mentioned the shortening of your period days from 10 to
Mhm.
3 days, and
Yes,
also that you passed the fibroids out. What do you
yes.
think contributed the most? Or is it that you think it was just everything that you were doing contributed to that?
I think it was everything that I was doing that contributed because not only was my body being alkalized with alkalized in my blood and my body before the juicing that I was doing, but I was also doing herbal tea as well. So everybody knows that herbs irritate whatever you're trying to treat. It doesn't, everybody thinks that you take herbs to heal. Herbs is actually poisonous to our body. It irritates whatever you've got going on to the point that your body expels it and it gets rid of it. That's what you take herbs for. So that's why I only take herbs now when it's time to I do a detox every 3 months. And that's the only time that I literally take herbs at the moment is when I need a detox because there's nothing else in my body that I need to heal that I physically know of at the moment. Yeah, that every time I go to the doctor, every year I get my blood work done because I always want to make sure that I'm doing fine. And every year now for the last 5 years, my doctor's like, I don't know what you've been doing, but please keep it up. You have nothing wrong with you.
Wow, you mentioned something that I've never heard before. And that's
Hmm.
why I love doing these conversations because I always learn something. You actually said that herbs are not really good for the body. It irritates whatever is in the body so that it comes out. I've never heard that said
Yeah.
before. So
Everybody,
thank you.
everybody thinks when you start researching more into herbs, everybody thinks that you run, you have to run, you have to get herbs, you have to get herbs, you have to get herbs. The herbs are put on the earth, yes, to help you in a sense, but they actually are, I wouldn't say poisonous to the body, but they irritate whatever's going on within your body to the point that your body purges what you're dealing with. So everybody just runs and gets on the herbs, but you still need to detox. You still need to change your mindset. It's a complete circle with what you need to do so you can get the healing that you want.
What do you believe is the specific or actual connection between our diet and things such as the inflammation, the arthritis, the high blood pressure, the fibroid, the
Mm.
heavy periods?
Everything was connected with my lifestyle before I made a switch. Every single ailment, every disease, everything that was physically wrong with me, even mentally with the anxiety attacks, was coming from the poisons, the chemicals in the foods that I was eating. The moment I made that shift, I think when I had asked my doctor at one point, once again, when they were increasing my medication dosage, I said, "Do you think I'm ever going to get off these pills?" And she never even looked at me. She had her back turned to me typing on the computer, and she said, "Nope, you'll be on these pills for the rest of your life." I never went back to her. And then when I went back to my doctor a year later, I had already lost 100 pounds. I had been off those pills for well over 9 months by then. So I think
Wow.
that once you decide that you want to make a change within yourself, not just going on a juice fast, not just changing, swapping out foods, but when you want to make a permanent change, you have to make a mindset change first. And then when you change your mind towards food and the way to heal your body, like the way I speak to my body now is that I'm healed. I wake up every morning, I pray to the God above, and I just say, you know what? Thank you, God, because I am healed. I don't claim that I'm sick. I don't claim that I had a stroke. I don't carry that burden. That burden's been gone. I claim that I am strong, I am healthy, and I'm here. And that's how I pray every day.
What are some of the misconceptions you think that people have about natural healing and living holistically?
Yeah. I've heard it all. I've heard that I'm a crackpot. I've heard, why would you try to steer people away from doctors? Doctors are the best thing ever. And I agree. Doctors do have a place in society. They do a very good job, but doctors have never healed anyone. Doctors have literally never healed anyone. Doctors is a business. They need you as a patient so that money can keep coming in their door with all those drugs that they're giving you. But the moment you back off and you say, you know what? I'm taking my health in my hands. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for no one else but me because I want to live. You start researching and what you need to do to live naturally. It just flows after that. I can't even explain it. It just it's a connection that everything comes together and your body just heals.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to heal? They're looking into natural healing, but they're not quite sure if this is the way to go.
Do your research. Everybody on the internet, everybody on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook is a healer. Everybody has got their own advice. You've got your carnivores that tell you you need to do this. You've got your keto people telling you that you need to do this. You've got, your vegan people telling you that you need to do this. And I tell everyone, I'm not vegan, I'm plant-based. I just eat fruits, I eat nuts, I eat vegetables, I drink sea moss. That's all I am. I have honey. Vegans get all upset. Yo, how could you be a vegan? You have honey. I'm plant-based. I still have my honey. Honey is very beneficial to my body. I just say, do your research into this lifestyle. It's not easy. It really is not easy. I still have trouble in 2025 when I go to some restaurants and they have their vegan or plant-based options and they are absolute crap. So I just say embrace this lifestyle if you want to take this lifestyle. Envision yourself healed. Envision yourself healed. Manifest yourself being healed. Do your research into people that are plant-based. Look at what they're eating, look at what they're drinking. Try it. Or it's worth a try. That's all I can tell you is just try.
You mentioned being stressed, and that could have also contributed towards illnesses. What
Mm,
role do you believe that healing yourself emotionally and
mm.
your mindset shift, what role did you think those two played in your healing situation or your healing journey?
Not only was my body toxic, my mind was toxic, meaning that I was always having extreme negative thoughts. I was always thinking, death's around the corner. Everything was just negative. And the more negative that I became, I almost wore it like a coat. The more negativity that I poured on myself, the heavier that the load became. It wasn't until I decided, you know what, Tasha, stop. No one's going to do this but you. You've tried everything else. You've tried doctors. You've tried everything under the sun. I've tried. Try this. Do it for yourself. Shift. That's all you have to do is just make one little shift. That's all I did. I haven't done anything. Everybody thinks that, you lost weight, that it's all about weight loss. You look good, you look good. But my mindset is the most stable and the healthiest it's ever been in my whole entire adult life. It's amazing where I am right now.
Take us through a typical day of Natasha. Like, what are the health habits? What's your regimen? What's your routine right now?
I go by the circadian rhythm, meaning that once I rise, I pretty much I have warm lemon or lime water once I rise. I have a treadmill, so I do about a 45 minute to an hour walk, about 4 miles I do in the morning. I cold press juice, pack my lunch, I eat fruits and cold press juice all day until I come home in the evening and I have a very large salad with toppings and stuff. Um, on my lunch breaks, I work full time for the NHS. So on my lunch breaks, I go for walks as well because I believe in natural sunlight and, the wind. I believe in just getting outside and getting away from sitting at a desk all day long. My lifestyle right now is very calm. I have the most peace I've ever had in my life. And it's just come from not only shifting what I eat, but shifting what I think. And with the combination of it all, I think that I'm the most happiest mentally and physically ever.
What are some non-negotiables for you right now?
Nobody messes with my exercise time in the morning. I get up 4 o'clock every single morning so I can exercise and have Tasha time, and nobody interrupts that. They know it's a problem. You come downstairs and you ask me a question before 6 o'clock, it's a problem because that's my time. um, Non-negotiables is I don't settle for anything anymore. At one point, I was very much a settler. I would do anything to help anyone, regardless of how that made me feel. I don't do that anymore. I take care of Tasha. I take her Tasha's close circle, and I just try my hardest to be as positive as I can when I'm doing that. That's all my life is.
Love that. Tasha time. Sorry. For someone just starting out, what's one simple change that they can make today to move towards improving their health?
I would say sit down with yourself, get a journal, get a book, write down the problems that you are having. Like for me, when I wanted to find out, just how bad things were for me, I wrote down every ailment that I had. And next to the ailment, I wrote down what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to heal, I wanted to do that. I wrote down all the medications that I was taking. And at the end of that list, I put down all the foods that I like to eat. And I was constantly crossing off that list every time I achieved something new. I crossed off until that whole list was just nothing but lines. And the moment I had crossed off everything on that list, I had lost that 130 pounds and made a complete shift, a complete change in my life. I don't know what to say. The only thing I could tell anybody is just try. Eliminate stuff in your body that in your life that is not beneficial. People, food, things in your house you no longer. Anything you haven't touched in the last year you don't need, get rid of it. Take care of yourself. Exercise. Go for a walk in nature. Hug a bloody tree. Go outside. Put your feet on the ground. Ground yourself. But life gets better when you start taking better care of yourself.
What do you do when like you feel overwhelmed?
Meditate. I meditate and I pray multiple times a day. I breathe, I go away, I meditate, I breathe, and I come back.
Do you ever feel like giving up on this journey? Like stop having your fruits and start having other things?
Definitely not. I would definitely to let anyone know this is the way I'm gonna be until I hit that box. I will not ever change. If anything, I'll probably try to constantly improve and enhance my life, but I will never go back to the way it was.
I want you to just, I know you've said it before, but just for clarity, so people can really understand the
Mhm,
gravity of what you were going through. I want you to paint a before of everything that you were experiencing on the negative
mhm,
side and how
mhm.
things are right now currently. So basically, you're painting a before and an after
Okay.
picture.
Um, Before, like I said, I was in constant pain. Um, I could hardly walk at one point because my legs, because of the high blood pressure, my legs and my ankles and stuff used to swell. So walking was very painful. Heart palpitations that I was always thinking I was having a stroke with. The side effects that came from, the arthritis that I had. I couldn't hardly close my hands. I couldn't hardly write at one point because my hands were so puffy and swollen. Um, the menstrual problems that I was experiencing, migraines that no matter how much medication they gave me, the migraines just never went away. They subsided a little bit, always in the back of the head, never went away. Um, what I have now, since I made the shift, I have no migraines. My periods have gone from 10 days to just about 3 days. Sometimes I get 2 days. I've lost 130 pounds. I had fatty liver disease. I no longer have arthritis. I no longer have heart palpitations. I don't have anxiety. I have nothing that I can physically put my finger on and say, oh, yeah, I'm suffering from that. I don't.
Wow, wow. Congrats to you. Trust me. For somebody who is listening, I know that being on this journey, you must have learned some tips and some hacks and some tricks because you said that you are very mindful of what you put on your body and what
Hmm.
you use in terms of. Do you have any tips of things that we can use? For example, what can we use to replace lotion or toothpaste for oral health? Any little tips and tricks that we can use in our daily lifestyle?
I make my own shea butter lotion. So I make shea butter cream for our skin. We use black soap with the African nets in the shower. I make my own sugar scrubs. So to go ahead and exfoliate the skin, I do our own sugar scrubs as well. Um, Teeth wise, we don't usually use toothpaste. My son or my husband may sometimes use the toothpaste. I use a natural Benedict clay that has essential oils like peppermint and mint and other things in it. So I end up using that. Um, Hair, the same thing. It's black soap. It's just natural products that we tend to use because, like I said, your skin is your largest organ in your whole body. So whatever you're basically putting on your skin or your lotions, your chemicals and all that, it's going straight into your bloodstream. It's just poison.
We're going into the final segments, the rapid fire round. One food or herb that you can't live without.
Sarsaparilla.
All right. A healing
Sarsaparilla.
habit that you swear by.
Fasting.
One thing people should stop eating or drinking immediately.
Milk and cheese. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Milk
No
and
problem.
cheese.
Your favorite comfort food that's healthy.
Oh, a nice falafel wrap with a homemade spelt. A nice falafel and a homemade spelt wrap with homemade hummus, tahini on top, some homemade boro fries. That's a comfort food for me.
Roots and remedies. If you could give someone one natural remedy to help with hormonal balance, inflammation, or high blood pressure, what would that be?
High blood pressure to me was basically I never really took an herb for my high blood pressure. I took a combination of herbs, but high blood pressure to me was my body was dehydrated. So
Okay.
I end up hydrating my body more than anything, meaning with coconut water and my cold pressed juices. So the moment that I hydrated my body, my blood pressure ended up coming down. I didn't actually take an actual herb for that. Um,
Okay.
the herbs that I took were ones that were more for my heart and my uterus, my women herbs. But I didn't end up taking anything that was just for cardiovascular health in a sense.
Nature Cures Healing Challenge for this week. If you could challenge our listeners or viewers to try one healing habit for this week, what would it be?
The one healing habit to be, well, sorry, the one healing habit I would tell anyone is that do not eat before 12 o'clock. Try the circadian rhythm for 3 days, meaning that once you rise, you have a warm glass of water with lemon. Just go ahead and carry that through. You can have fruit juice if you want until 12 o'clock. When you break your fast at 12 o'clock, which is break fast, the first thing you put in your mouth should be fruit. And you can have as much fruit as you want. But remember, the moment you decide to eat something else, you can no longer eat fruit. So I eat fruit straight up until I come home from work at 6:30 in the evening. And then when I come home, I have a huge salad when I come home. So I just challenge anyone, just try to fast a little longer. Give your body time to get rid of all the junk that's impacting your health or that's giving you health ailments. Let your body get rid of all that junk first. Extend your fast and then feed your body nothing but goodness.
What's one song or mantra that supported you on your healing journey?
My nan when she was alive was she used to be a we call her backyard herbalist. She was always in the garden, whipping up something. We had lemongrass. Her dad used to put pennies in a copper pennies in a glass, and her siblings used to drink this copper water. You know, she was very much into healing naturally. But every single time that I went to my nan's house, she had that Bob Marley song, "Every Little Thing's Gonna Be All Right," always playing. And I could tell you anything that is on my playlist all the time because whenever I feel that any sort of negativity is creeping into my life, that song's on, and I'm like, you know what? Mm-mm. Everything's always gonna be all right because I'm in control of it, and my mind's just it just shifts.
Every little thing is
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be all
good.
right.
All right, I would love to hear Natasha's starter pack. So, if you had to create a starter pack for someone trying to transition off medication and just into natural healing, what would you put in it? You can put anything in this starter pack. What would you put in?
The first thing, well, if I had to put something together, would be I would give you an alkaline herbal healing guide that shows you the type of foods that you can eat and what you need to eliminate out of your body. It has the foods and the herbs that you can take that helps your body. I'll put shea butter. I will put I'll put some herbs in there as well. I will put once again sarsaparilla, yellow dock, dandelion, nettle. I will put a nice combination of herbs that help with a gentle detox. Um, I would put the Bible, because although everyone believes there is a different God, I have a different God that what everyone believes in, my God is completely different, but I think the word is the same. So I would definitely put the Bible in there because I think self-reflection on where you want to be in life comes from giving thanks for where you are right now. So I give thanks daily, multiple times a day for where I am and where I'm going. What else would I put in there? I would
Were
put
there any
a
books that supported you on your journey, specific books?
African holistic. I've got a few here. I've got African holistic health. I've got Live Raw. I've got Dr. Sebi's books. I've got quite a few books. A lot of my books is on alkaline lifestyles, but that African holistic health, and also I've got a lot of fasting books upstairs from Dr. I think his name is Dr. Eric. I've got a few of those as well. So yeah, I've got quite a few books that I get my research from.
Is there anything that I did not ask that you think it's important for the audience to know?
Um, I think the most important thing that people need to realize is that yeah, it's a this is a journey. Like I decided to make this change was in 1999, so it was just before COVID. So this is my 6 year of now embracing a better lifestyle. I would say embrace the journey. It's gonna be ups, it's gonna be downs, it's gonna be days that you're saying, why on earth did I decide to do this? But the benefits that come along with it and how fast the benefits come. Like the moment I remember I stopped eating cheese, I was always congested, had a little asthma pump, and when I used to tell people, I got bad bronchitis, bad bronchitis. The moment I stopped eating cheese within that month, I no longer needed that insulin, that because all the mucus that cheese was producing in my body had started to lift and go away. So I had eliminated that pump and the other two pumps that I was taking, thinking that I had breathing problems, and it wasn't. It was just my diet. Eliminate things, include good things, and watch the changes, and just embrace the changes that you get.
How can people contact you if they would? Well, first of all, do you have any services or products that you offer?
I do consult with people at the moment. I do offer, say, health coaching in a sense. If you need any sort of guidance, if you are interested in this lifestyle, if you just don't know where to go, I do put together packages for people. Um, I have my Instagram handle is alkaline underscore Empress 76. And that's my health
Okay.
page. And it's got my whole healing journey on there. It goes along from the beginning straight up into where we are today.
I will add the link to Natasha's Instagram page so that you can reach out if you're interested in consultations. All right, my final question, Natasha, is what does true healing mean to you?
Peace, happiness, and waking up every day without fear. That's true healing for me. I can't put it any other way but waking up knowing that I have nothing that is gonna have me calling the doctor at 8 o'clock in the morning to sit in a line because I'm having an anxiety or my medications ran out or I've got a new ailment or I've got a new this or whatever. I have complete peace of mind knowing that my health is in my hands. I've, in a sense, I put my body in the right conditions that it has healed itself, and I'm at peace because I know that I have nothing to worry about at the moment.
I love it. And thank you so much, Natasha, for coming on and sharing your story because I'm sure this will be an inspiration. Someone who had fatty liver disease, arthritis, migraines, fibroids. Am I leaving anything out? Oh,
Fatty liver disease
kidney
we've had,
disease,
yeah, heart disease from when I had my stroke. I've had it all.
stroke, cardiac issues, so
Yeah,
many illnesses, multiple
yeah,
illnesses, and now you are at a place where you are healed, you are healthy.
I am, yes.
That is beautiful. That's the power of nature. That's the power of taking control of your health, your mind,
That's
your
right.
body, your soul, your spirit, your emotions. I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing your inspiring story with us. I really
Oh,
appreciate it. And I'm
thank
sure
you so much.
the audience will appreciate it as well.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
To our listeners and viewers, I hope that this episode inspired you as much as it inspired me. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination, and every small step you take counts. You can watch more episodes of Nature Cures with Stacia Alicia on Amazon Audible, Spotify, and YouTube Music. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this story. If you're watching on YouTube, please check out the description section for links and to stay connected with me on social media. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, nature cures. Blessed love.